Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a video on why I think K9 should come back. I think K9 should come back because he's just such a good boy of a character. I don't know, I just think he's so sort of... There's something really endearing about the character, I think, and quirky and quintessentially British as well. You know, I think he was very much in the classic series designed for Doctor Who to try and compete with the likes of Star Wars or whatever, with, you know, sort of R2-D2 and C-3PO and that. But as I say, in that sort of quirky British way, we just thought, okay, so the kids like robots. What else does everyone like? Oh yeah, man's best friend. Let's put the two together, you know. And as a kid, whenever I saw K9, in school reunion, I just adored him, and I just assumed that in the classic series that he would. When I realised that there was even more Doctor Who, that I assumed that it'd be in a lot of it, and then as I've got older, I've, you know, sort of obviously realised, well, obviously they can't have had him in it a lot because as a prop, he's an absolute freaking nightmare, you know. For every time the Doctor has to run up and down some stairs or down a corridor or whatever, this thing's like, so they either have to build a ramp or make a shorter corridor, and that. So yeah, so basically as a prop he was a bit of a nightmare. I just think as a character he, much like almost Sarah Jane herself, I think the character of K9 bridges the new and the old, I think. And I think regardless of what generation, you know, I guess maybe 60s Doctor Who fans, if there are people who are still with us who like or grew up with 60s Who, and that maybe they don't like K9 or whatever, but I get the feeling that most people who grew up with the 70s Who, or maybe even hopefully 80s Who, would go back or grow up with said era of Doctor Who and like K9. Again, I just find him very endearing, and I think with, hopefully they don't miss a trick by adding him in the Jodie Whittaker era, because I can imagine them both working really well together. I don't know why, I just do. I can imagine her just being like, oh, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? And that, like, just, I don't know, I just think, I could imagine, I don't know, like, I think her unbridled, sort of unbound optimism and positivity, and his sort of very monotone, dry wit would balance out. I think, you know, I think, I don't know, I just have this idea that maybe, say in series 12, I don't know, Bradley Walsh or any of the companions, God forbid it's Bradley Walsh's character, hopefully it's not Graham, but let's say one of the companions dies in the series or leaves or whatever, I could imagine maybe that happening, and then maybe the next episode or the episode before the sonic screwdriver gets destroyed, and then, as I say, like maybe then Ryan or Yaz or whomever ends up leaving the TARDIS or getting killed off, and that, and then basically you've got a reason as to why the Doctor would then maybe make K9 Mark maybe 4 or whatever Mark we're up to now, because the first one was in the classic series, then was Mark 2 the one in K9 and Company, because I'm sure Sarah gets delivered a K9, which might be Mark 2, then Mark 3 might be the one in School Reunion, so this might, if they were to bring back K9, be the 4th version of him. It's just kind of weird because he gets relegated in the Sarah Jane Adventures to just literally safeguarding the black hole. And that, but the thing is, as I was saying, I think with this whole idea, at least from my end, of having a companion leave and then the Sonic be destroyed, or Sonic be destroyed and then a companion leave, whichever way they do it, decide to do it. I think that would be a brilliant way for the 13th Doctor to then build her own K9 in the TARDIS, because we all know she loves making things by you know, her own initiative and that it, let's say like the sonic screwdriver, but yeah, like I think it would be a good reason, or that would be a good setup as to why you'd bring K9 back, because basically he's like then a sonic screwdriver on wheels, or sonic screwdriver with a bit of a personality even, and can talk back, and sonic screwdriver with a bit of a bite basically, and a bit of sass, and also it'd add to the companionship for the Doctor, you know, with losing just a companion, and that, and it'd round out the TARDIS team from having just 2 characters back to 3, but also you could expect this character to be kind of left behind, you know, or you wouldn't be as upset, or ideally the fans wouldn't be as angrily annoyed if, say, hypothetically, God forbid, that K9 wasn't in a handful of scenes or didn't have as much dialogue as X, Y and Z character, you know, because again, there's only so much you can do with the character of K9, I guess. But again, I just have these images of, as I say, the 13th Doctor and or Jodie, you know, just really being able to interact and infuse a lot of personality and character into both her portrayal of the Doctor and K9. I think basically what I'm trying to get at is, I don't know why, but I have these visions almost of, as odd as that sounds, of these 2 characters almost living in symbiotic relationship, or having a symbiotic relationship, in so much as, again, the character of K9 is this sort of static, very slow, very, in terms of his movement, very static, very robotic, very dry, very logical sort of character, and Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor is completely polar opposite to that. She's, you know, this youthful, energetic, you know, unbound, positive, childlike sort of, you know, wonder about the universe. Not that K9 doesn't have any of those traits, but he is very much more, you know, again, like, I get, it's like the Doctor would have to, at least the 13th Doctor would definitely have to almost, it'd make for a very interesting dynamic, because she as a character would have to very much, not change completely, but very much alter how she is, and that, to accommodate K9's characteristics and the prop, quite literally, because again, she'd have to walk maybe slower, she'd have to just sort of, you know, not so much mind the language, but maybe just be a bit less all over the place. I say that, but knowing full well K9 was, you know, introduced and made in the Tom Baker era, and he was completely manic, and, you know, personality was all over the frigging joint, and K9 had to put up with that. So he's had to deal with one of the, well, not worst, but most manic personalities of the Doctor. So he could probably deal with 13th Doctor, but it would be nice to see her have to slow down, because she's got this sort of character who holds her back almost a bit, or not holds her back, but has different needs to that of Graham or Ryan or Yaz or whomever else, you know, and as I say, I just have like this image of like maybe Jodie's Doctor just crouching down and being like, oh, who's a good boy, under his chin or something, and him just being like, Mistress, there is no need to give me such positive feedback, Mistress. Whilst he's there like, shh, 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 and the ears are moving and that. Actually, this isn't too bad, Mistress. Continue, or something dumb like that, you know. And that. Or maybe even K9 could make one particular comment about Sarah Jane as well, and that. And or the Doctor could, and then K9 could be like, you know, say something along the lines of, yes, Mistress, I miss her very dearly, or something, or you know, just a nice little Easter egg for the hardcore of hardcore fans, you know, who miss the late great, you know, Elizabeth Sladen, or maybe even K9 could, again, just as a one-off, God forbid, but make a comment about, wait, you sound quite different, Master, because again, I instinctively said Mistress, but K9 wouldn't know that the Doctor had regenerated into a woman, so, or would he? I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't think he would, but it'd be really cool if they, in this hypothetical scenario, if they did ever bring K9 back, if they did address that, you know, K9 just be like, not be taken aback. He's a fucking robot dog, for Christ's sake. I don't think he'd have prejudice and be like, holy shit, Master, you're a woman, fuck you, you know, and just roll out the TARDIS or some shit. Like, I find that highly unlikely happening, or I find that highly unlikely to happen, or at least I hope that wouldn't happen. But yeah, I think it'd be really funny if, as I say, well, not funny, but it'd be nice as just a little comment, you know, just as I say, like K9 just be like, Master, you sound quite different. Analyzing voice patterns. You know, scans detect high frequency pitches. To which, you know, Jodie could be like, what are you trying to say? You know, about my voice and that. But yeah, I don't know. Or I could just maybe see her like carrying the prop maybe for a bit or something, or maybe just having like the pipe bit and the neck, or the pipe neck and the head maybe, and just having that maybe for a part for a bit, and then adding it to the rest of the body or something, you know. And that, because again, I think her more hands-on nature, she could build K9 and that, and as I say, they could really have a good bond, because, you know, this version, this mark, maybe 4, maybe it is 4. Comment below if you know the answer to how many K9s we've had in the show in total, and if they did bring back K9, which K9 would be back on, or be into, or onto even. Yeah, I think that'd be great if K9 came back, because again, I think you'd be bringing, you'd be winning brownie points definitely for hardcore Doctor Who fans, I think, if you did that, and I think you'd be bringing back a beloved character from the classic series who is very much missed, or at least I miss K9 anyway. But yeah, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Please do comment even about whether or not you think K9 should come back to the series at some point. I think if they don't ever bring back K9 during the Jodie Whittaker era, I think it's going to be a big missed opportunity personally. So yeah, I think they need to do it ASAP, but I wouldn't be mad if they didn't bring K9 back in Series 12, but I would be if we get to the end of Jodie's tenure and he's nowhere to be seen. So yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.